We spent 10 days in Slovenia with our 3 and 5-year-old girls, and honestly, it might be the most underrated family destination in Europe. Stunning alpine scenery, much cheaper than Switzerland, and so easy to navigate with kids. In this guide, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about Ljubljana and Lake Bled. Where to stay, what to do, and whether it's actually worth visiting with young children. Hi, I'm Samantha from Our Wandering Hearts, and we're a family of 4 traveling around the world full-time. Slovenia was actually my 50th country, and I can't believe we waited this long to visit. Make sure you subscribe because we have more helpful family travel guides coming your way. Okay, first, where even is Slovenia? It's tucked between Italy, Austria, and Croatia in Central Europe. It's quite small and you can drive across the whole country in a few hours, but it packs in everything. Alpine mountains, medieval castles, emerald rivers, and some of the friendliest people we've met. We visited in late September through to early October and it was perfect. The weather was mild, autumn colours were stunning, and crowds were manageable. Summer is peak season, which means warmer but more expensive. Winter offers skiing and Christmas markets, and spring can be beautiful with wildflowers everywhere, but it can be a bit rainy. So how long do you need? I would say a minimum of a week, ideally 10 to 14 days if you want to explore a little bit deeper. We did 3 nights in Ljubljana and 6 nights in Lake Bled, and honestly we could have stayed longer. The currency is euros and English is widely spoken, especially in tourist areas, and here's the best part. It's significantly cheaper than neighbouring Austria or Italy. For families, Slovenia is incredibly easy. It's safe, compact, and most attractions are naturally kid-friendly, and our 3 and 5-year-old girls absolutely loved it here. So let's talk more about Slovenia's capital, Ljubljana. We had a hire car for our entire Slovenia trip, which I'll talk about more later, but you don't really need a hire car for Ljubljana itself. In fact, the city is largely pedestrianised, and if you do have a car, parking in the city centre is expensive. We're talking 2 to 3 euros per hour, and adding that up over a few days can be a lot. What we did was park near a train station about 1.5 kilometres from our Airbnb where it was much cheaper, and then we just walked everywhere. The entire old town is super walkable and you really can't get lost because it's basically 2 main streets on each side of the river. We stayed in an Airbnb in the city centre for 3 nights and it cost us 665 Australian dollars. Now here's the thing, accommodation in Ljubljana is surprisingly expensive. We changed our accommodation last minute and ended up saving around $200 for the same amount of nights, but I wouldn't rely on waiting to book your apartment till last minute. If you have a car, consider staying outside the city centre. You'll get better value, probably ground floor or lift access, parking included, and you can still easily drive in and park near a train station like we did. The old town is so compact that you'll be walking once you're there anyway. Okay, so what did we actually do? We started our exploration at Dragon Bridge. This iconic bridge has these massive dragon statues that the kids absolutely loved. Dragons are everywhere in Ljubljana, which makes the city way more fun for children. From there we walked to the Franciscan church with its bright pink facade. We didn't go inside, but it's gorgeous from the outside. Then we crossed the triple bridge, which is exactly what it sounds like, 3 bridges side by side. We stopped at a beautiful patisserie for morning tea, which I absolutely recommend because they have amazing pastries. We also tried cake at Boutique Le Putica, specifically the walnut flavour, and they were so delicious. Then we walked along the main pedestrian street up to St. Nicholas Cathedral. Right near the cathedral there's this huge marketplace with locals selling produce, food, and all sorts of items. We grabbed lunch at a random stall and it was so yummy and super cheap. After lunch we took the funicular up to Ljubljana Castle, and this is a must do. The funicular is quick and easy with kids, and the castle itself has heaps to explore. Towers to climb, courtyards, a puppet museum, and the views over the city are absolutely worth it. We probably spent 2 hours up there, but you could easily do 3 or 4 if you're not rushing. That evening we went out for dinner, and this is where we discovered Slovenian dumplings. They do both sweet and savoury versions, and we tried them with the barley stew, which was way better than expected, but the sweet dumplings were life-changing. And I'm not even exaggerating, I ate these multiple times throughout our Slovenian road trip. Seriously, you have to try them and let me know which flavour was your favourite. So what did we love about Ljubljana? Ljubljana has this incredible afternoon atmosphere. Everyone's out at the riverside cafes, soaking up the sun, and there's just this really great energy. It's relaxed but lively. And the dragon theme throughout the city keeps the kids engaged. They're constantly spotting dragons on bridges, buildings, and manhole covers. And like I said, it's so walkable and easy to navigate. It's really hard to get lost when you've got the river as your landmark and basically 2 parallel streets on each side. It's low stress travel with young kids, which we are always here for. But how long should you allocate for Ljubljana? We did 3 nights, which gave us 2 full days in the city, and that felt perfect. You could probably do it in 1 full day if you're efficient, but 2 days lets you slow down and actually enjoy the atmosphere. Any more than than 3 nights and you probably will want to do day trips out of the city. Now let's move on to Lake Bled. Lake Bled is about 50 kilometres from Ljubljana, less than an hour's drive. If you don't have a car, there are regular buses that take about 75 minutes and cost around €8 per person. Buses do run pretty frequently, especially in summer. Now, do you need a car for Lake Bled area? That is the big question. For Lake Bled town itself, no. It's walkable and you can get around super easy. But if you want to explore Triglav National Park like we did, all the gorges, waterfalls and other lakes, then yes, absolutely get a car. We were able to visit different spots every day, which made it so good to have the car. We stayed in Lake Bled for 6 nights and booked through booking.com for 1,352 Aussie dollars. And here's a tip, always check multiple platforms, because this exact apartment was $200 more on Airbnb. I do have Genius level discounts on booking.com, which did help, but still it's worth looking around. Our location was about 800 metres from the lake and the main shops, which was perfect. An easy walk, but not right in the super touristy area. Parking was included, which in Lake Bled is pretty standard for most accommodations outside the immediate lakefront. The accommodation quality was better than Ljubljana for a similar price. We had more space, better amenities, and no stairs to deal with since our place had a lift. Okay, so Lake Bled is absolutely stunning. Like picture perfect stunning. We spent several afternoons just walking around the lake shore. It's about 6 kilometres around the entire lake if you do the full circuit, which is totally doable with kids, but you can also just walk to the castle side, which is where the best views are. Bled Castle is a must visit. We went in the morning when parking was easy, and the views from up there over the lake and the island church, it's one of the most aesthetic places we've been. The castle itself has a museum, a printing press you can watch, and several viewpoints. We spent about 90 minutes there and tried the famous Bled cream cake at the Castle Cafe. And I'm gonna be honest, we were kind of skeptical. Everyone raved about it and we thought it couldn't possibly live up to the hype, but it absolutely does. It's lighter than you'd expect, not too sweet, and those views while eating it, just do it. Now the island church. You get there by traditional Pletner boat or you can hire your own rowboat. The Pletner boats were always packed when we were there, like really crowded. We planned to hire a rowboat and do it ourselves at sunrise one morning, which would have been magical. But we left it until our last day, and by then all the rowboats had closed for the season. And this is one of my biggest regrets from the trip. The rowboat hire is €40 for 90 minutes, and if you want to do it early in your trip so you can make sure you get on one. And be sure to do it early in the morning to try and beat some of the crowds. So how long should you stay at Lake Bled? We stayed a week and I could have easily stayed longer. If you're just seeing Lake Bled itself, the lake, the castle, the island, you could probably do that in 2 days. But Lake Bled is the perfect base for exploring the wider Triglav National Park area, and that's where the magic really happens. We travelled to a different place every day and still didn't see everything we wanted to. Now let's talk about Triglav National Park. This is Slovenia's only national park and it's absolutely massive. Over 800 square kilometres of alpine wilderness. Lake Bled sits right on the edge of it, which is why it's such a perfect base. Every day we drove to a different spot, and honestly this was the highlight of our entire Slovenia trip. So let me break down what we did. Vintgar Gorge. This was incredible. It's about 20 minutes from Lake Bled and you need to park at the LIP parking lot. Don't try to park at the gorge itself because there's very limited parking there. Just hop on the free shuttle bus that takes you from the car park to the entrance. At the entrance they give you a helmet to wear for safety and you can get an entry time slot. And do not miss your time slot because you'll have to buy another ticket. We paid around €10 per adult and kids under 6 are free. The gorge itself is so stunning. You're walking on wooden walkways and bridges right above this emerald green river rushing through narrow rock walls. It's like something out of a movie. Now here's what we weren't prepared for. It's a one-way circuit, and once you finish the gorge section you have to continue on a much longer trail. We're talking maybe 4 kilometres total. You go up through a forest track, up some hills, then along these cow paddocks with amazing views, then back down to where you started to catch the shuttle bus back. But here's the genius part. At the ticket office, you can get this wooden little ball and a book. Along the trail after the gorge, there are different activity stations where kids use the ball, and the book explains each one. At the end, they get a beautifully illustrated book about the gorge and the animals that live there. This kept our kids motivated the entire walk. And I think without it, we would have had some serious meltdowns. Bring water and snacks and plan for 2 to 3 hours total. It's absolutely worth it, but just know it's more than just the gorge. It's a proper hike. Lake Bohinj is about 30 minutes from Lake Bled and the complete opposite vibe. Where Bled is touristy and developed, Bohinj is quiet and natural. There's not much there in terms of restaurants or buildings, but there is a kiosk that sells paninis and that's what we did. We grabbed lunch and had a picnic on the shore taking in the views. This lake is bigger than Bled and surrounded by mountains. It's so peaceful. If you want to escape the crowds, then come here. While we were in the area, we also visited Savica Waterfall, which is really close by. It's a fairly simple walk, about 20 minutes uphill from the car park, and you get a good waterfall view plus views over the valley and lake below. Slap Periknik. This was one of our favourites. Slab Picnic is about 35 minutes from Lake Bled. The walk from the car park is super simple, maybe 10 minutes. Parking can be limited in peak season, but we had no problem finding a space in the morning in autumn. And the special thing about this waterfall is that you can walk behind it. And I mean properly behind it. You're between the rock wall and the waterfall curtain. You will get quite wet, so be prepared with rain jackets or just embrace it. But it feels magical being back there. And we all thought it was just the coolest thing ever. Definitely don't skip this one. It's easy enough for young kids and the payoff is huge. Okay, Lake Jasna is technically man-made, so it feels a bit like cheating, but it is absolutely stunning. It's about 45 minutes from Lake Bled, up near Kranjska Gora. The water is so clear that you can see the fish swimming below from the viewing platform, and the mountain backdrop is incredible. In summer, people do fly fishing and boating here, and in winter, it's a ski area. There are really nice cafes and restaurants nearby, so it's a lovely spot to spend a couple of hours. Now let me go through some practical tips for your time in Slovenia. Do Ljubljana first and then Lake Bled. Ljubljana is more urban and a nice introduction to Slovenia. Lake Bled is where you'll want more time, so save it for the end and maybe allow extra time here so you can explore the national park more. Car or no car? You don't need a car for Ljubljana at all. For Lake Bled, if you're only seeing the lake and castle, you could skip it. But if you want to explore Triglav National Park, absolutely get a car. Public transport does exist, but it's time consuming and very limited. Timing your trip. We were there the first week of October and it was perfect. Autumn colours, mild weather, manageable crowds, and prices had dropped from summer peaks. Still, one day it did snow in the mountains while raining in the valley, so definitely pack layers. Money saving tips. Book accommodation early, or in our case, extremely last minute. And compare platforms. Eat at the markets in Ljubljana and buy picnic supplies for park and hiking days. Skip the touristy lakefront restaurants in Bled and go to places where the locals eat. The cream cake at the castle is worth the splurge though. What to pack? Rain jackets are essential for waterfalls and unpredictable weather. Good walking shoes as you'll be doing heaps of walking, snacks for kids on hikes, swimmers if you're visiting in summer, and layers because mornings can be freezing while afternoons are warm. Things I wish I'd known. Book the rowboat hire early in your trip and don't wait until the last day like we did. The Vintgar Gorge walk is much longer than just the gorge, so factor in 2 to 3 hours. Parking is included with most accommodations in Lake Bled, but expensive in Ljubljana Centre. And Slovenian dumplings are amazing. Try them multiple times. Slovenia is incredibly family friendly and attractions aren't overpriced. The natural stuff like waterfalls, lakes and gorges, kids automatically love it. Streets are safe, people are kind, and our 3 and 5-year-olds handled everything we did. Just make sure you pace yourselves and build in some downtime. So is Slovenia worth visiting? Absolutely yes. This was our 50th country and we cannot believe that we left it so long to visit. And who is it perfect for? Families who want alpine scenery without Switzerland prices, people who love nature and outdoor activities, and anyone who wants Europe without overwhelming crowds. If you love hiking, lakes, mountains, charming small towns, this is your place. It's often described as a more affordable Switzerland, but I honestly believe it is more than that. It has its own identity. It's quieter, more accessible, and offers so much charm. But who might not love it? If you're looking for big city energy or nightlife, Ljubljana is charming but small. If you need 5-star luxury everywhere, you'll find some, but it's not really the focus here. And would we return? In a heartbeat. We only scratched the surface of Slovenia and we could easily spend more time here. For families specifically, this is one of the easiest European destinations that we've travelled. Safe, manageable, kids are genuinely welcome everywhere and the activities are naturally suited to children. Slovenia has this perfect combination of stunning nature, manageable size, authentic culture and value for money. It honestly deserves to be on every family's Europe list. So if you want to see what our days in Slovenia actually looked like, check out our full vlog series in our Slovenia travel vlog playlist. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe because we have more helpful family travel guides coming your way. And if you've been to Slovenia, make sure you leave a comment below letting me know what your favourite thing was that we didn't mention in the video. Thank you so much for watching and happy travels.